extra time.
Ashwin, just to go back to that South Africa thing, I mean, not to remember in the past, but you have said earlier that after the 2013-14 tour, you made a lot of changes, and just looking back at whatever changes you made and the years you've had, and then getting success in South Africa here, like how do you look back at it?
Well, I mean, more than having to make changes from the 2013-14 tour, it was a reality check in terms of not being able to win a test match for the country on day 5 when all things were actually set up for a spinner. It was kind of hit on my professional pride, and from there on I knew I had to work on certain things. Obviously, you don't get wickets, you don't go and believe being bullheaded and think things will get better from the next day. I'm not made that way, at least. So I worked on making my action a lot more repeatable. I worked on the release bit of my wrist position exactly at the time of release, and also added a few things up my repertoire. Used my wrist a lot more when I deliver the ball. Use my palm when I bowl the floater, and etc. etc. I mean, obviously these things have combined together over the last few years. I've had a great time over the last 2-3 years. So I'm just taking the confidence forward and I'll try and get better as the day goes, and probably by the end of this series I'll be a far better bowler than what I was when I started.
Can you talk us through that? Just when you look at the wicket before the match and today, did it change as per your expectation? Or how about your visualization?
I mean, 2 days out from the game, it looked like a game where we're going to play all seam attack. And then, like we walked into the ground yesterday, it was white in color, the grass was coming off it, so all of a sudden I had to really pull back and think, okay, I'm in the game now. And today morning we came into the ground, it looked like a wicket that was like really flat and had to have a spinner in the game. So personally, from my side of it, I was very happy that the wicket to the grass was taken off. If not, I think it would have been an all-seam attack. But then that's the way it goes, right? I've seen a lot of cricket matches where people are not in contention to play; they come in and get the wickets. So this was one of those days.
Just did it hamper your preparation?
No, actually not, because as I told you, I prepared to go. I mean, I play Test cricket now, and I get a lot of break in between. So might as well be ready when I get an opportunity. So there's no time to really unfasten the seatbelt. You're always on.
Bowling on a first day wicket in South Africa and bowling as much as you did, how do you look at that?
I'd like to think I've kept us in the game. It could have so easily been a game where they could have run away with it after that second session, and I'd like to believe I just was dogged enough, and I think my experience going and playing in England really helped, because these are the sort of wickets you get there, especially where I play at New Road. It's pretty flat. One ball jumps occasionally, and then it goes flat again for a very long time. And I was told by all my first-class teammates there that I have to develop a lot more patience. And hearing those things from them definitely was a reality check for me. I've gone through a massive ride over the last 8 months, and I'm in the phase of my life where I really want to enjoy the cricket.
Do you find that they may be playing you with a lot more respect and it's allowing you to be a lot more attacking?
I would actually like to believe I've gathered the respect rather than them doing it. At least I would like to believe so. But the thing is, as far as cricket is concerned, most cricketers they just react to what happens, and if you're bowling well, obviously you found that the batsmen play you in a certain fashion. If it's not coming out, they obviously go after you. So it was one of those days the ball really came out really well, and yeah, I think it does make a mark that you've got wickets against a certain team and dismissed a certain amount of batsmen in a certain fashion. It plays on their mind, and I'm happy I've put that sort of a scar on some of them, and probably helping me out here.
Mohammad Shami seems to be taking a little more time to get into the rhythm. We saw that in Newlands as well, and today in the first spell also he's appeared to be struggling. How much of it is it concerning, and how much of it had to do with he seemed to be struggling with a little headache or something in the second session?
I mean, if you ask me that question, I would say actually I'm lucky not to be a decision maker on those lines, because I don't have to make the decision or make an opinion on someone. I'm really happy to be in that position, but I think initially in any bowler for that matter, when you go for runs in the first spell, it's very difficult to gather yourself and gather your thoughts and try and come back with a plan for the next spell. So I thought he came back pretty well in the second spell, where he was bowling a lot more quicker and he was getting into the keeper's gloves a lot more, thudding into the keeper's gloves. So these are just things that you want to be really harsh and read into someone, and you can very well easily pass a judgment about someone, but having gotten hit in the first spell, I thought he came back really well. You never know, he can come up and close out the game tomorrow.
Whole 17 over spell. Like, what was it going on in your mind? Because they were like, batting was Akram and other guys were playing softly. So what was it trying to do?
No, actually, I wanted to try and change angles a lot more, but the fast bowlers weren't getting enough. I mean, there was hardly anything for the fast bowlers at all. There was, if at all, there was something. We're trying to get some reverse swing going and try and probably get a few catches in front of the wicket. Those are the kind of plans we were making. But so as a spinner, I had very little opportunities to try, very little pockets to try, because if you got a wicket, then for the next 2-3 overs, you could try a little bit and put attacking fieldsmen in place and probably change up. But when Hashim and Aiden Markram and those kind of partnerships were going, I was a little reluctant to go from over and around the stumps and try and use angles, which eventually through the end of the day, I think I had a little bit of cushion there to try all those things. And within my mind, I was like, this is probably one of my relaxed phases of my cricketing career. I wasn't really thinking too much. I was just going there and delivering the ball, and my only intent was to try and keep it in a particular spot and try and deliver and work on my different positions on the crease. I was just really enjoying it.
Ashwin, first of all, congratulations. Secondly, given the previous history in South Africa, how satisfying is putting together those 2 long spells, and also were you surprised by the conditions you found?
I mean, I haven't played a test in Centurion to be surprised about anything. There was a bit of spin in the morning. It was damp. I was told by the analyst that it's generally a bit damp on the first session of the test match in Centurion. I found it to be a bit damp, and it was very slow too. And one thing I've comfortably done is conveniently forget the history about South Africa. So I'm well over it, and I want to put things behind me and want to move straight ahead forward.
And with the kind of field settings you had at certain times, did it almost feel like you were missing Jadeja at the other end?
See, I mean, hindsight's very easy, very easy teacher, isn't it? Because I feel the wicket did spin a bit, but it was not outrageous. It was very slow, and there was bounce. Sometimes, as people watching the game, we mistake bounce for having big spin or whatever it is. But I would say both teams have gone in with 4 seamers. So, as of that question is concerned, I think it's status quo now. We'll know as the test match finishes, and again, hindsight will be the best.
उनके बाद आप क्या कहेंगे, इवन स्टीवन साइड मैच या फिर इंडिया को एडवांटेज है?
मुझे लग रहा है ये अच्छा लास्ट सेशन था हमारे लिए, बिकॉज आई फील those wickets in the last session are actually a very valid incentive for the team. So going into day 2, because if they had not lost so many wickets in the last session through runouts, which were obviously some extraordinary work by Hardik and a little bit of luck for us, without that, I think they might have had batsmen walking in tomorrow morning, and it would be harder work for us, because the new ball isn't doing a lot actually. The wicket's actually flattening out. Even the spin is going out of the surface a lot more. So I think day 2 and day 3 will be a very good batting day for as far as the surface is concerned.
What would you be happy as a first innings score for South Africa, or what would you like?
It can get very difficult on such wickets to make a prediction, but I would say just come out tomorrow and do what we did in the last session today, or probably in the second session today, and be as miserly as possible with the ball and try and dismiss. You can't really bowl them out on this wicket. You'll have to really really have to dig in deep and purchase those wickets. So it depends on how well we come out and do it, how well we recover overnight for the bowlers to be able to. I mean, thankfully we're playing 5 bowlers, so it helps.
Hit the subscribe option and the bell icon to get all the exclusive sports videos on Extra Time.